Delegate Rasoul.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise for a point of personal privilege.
Delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, today I rise for a moment in black history. Mr. Speaker, we have, with recent events in the past few weeks, have had some wounds that have simply been scabbed over, have realized that they have not fully healed. My hometown of Roanoke is one of the most residentially segregated cities in America. In the 1950s, urban renewal projects came through Roanoke, and they're chronicled in this book, Root Shock, by Dr. Mindy Fullilove. And I quote, "The white power structure supported this process. I learned that people were told the projects were intended to help them. The land cleared in that area was used for highways, a civic center, and businesses. No housing of any kind was built on the land that was taken." Urban renewal did not just level thousands of buildings in Roanoke, it destroyed neighborhoods. But deeper than that, these projects dismantled thriving community support systems that were the backbone of Black Roanoke. She goes on to talk about how these support systems were critical for folks day to day, especially during a system of segregation. These, and I quote, "These neighborhoods, if our next door neighbor didn't have a job, we would help them. We were independently self-supporting as a neighborhood. We enjoyed it because we knew we had someone to rely on." As America struggled with decades of Jim Crow and the constitutionality of racist policies, these support systems help people make it day to day. What a powerful voice we heard yesterday when the delegate from Hampton, Delegate Ward, speaking of how the Green Book helped families make it even from one town to the next. Sometimes with nothing to drink, because God forbid you needed to use the restroom. These projects were taken in the name of economic development and to improve the lives of residents, but history now has documented that developers wanted prime land for profitable projects, and these neighborhoods stood in the way. At the end of yesterday's session, we heard conjecture about certain feelings several members have expressed. While I believe all of us carry prejudice that we deal with internally, I know we are a body filled with good people who have different philosophies on how to help the least of these. Yet it is fair to ask the question, if policies are enacted that disproportionately impact people of color, do these policies not carry prejudice? The lack of intent to discriminate does not change entrenched patterns that continue to disadvantage marginalized communities. In order to heal these wounds, Mr. Speaker, we must first confront, though, the present. Today, Reverend William Barber, founder of the Poor People's Campaign, and Vice-President Al Gore will visit Union Hill. Union Hill is a community founded just after the Civil War by freed blacks. This community, comprised of mostly slave descendants, finds the health of future generations at risk by a massive compressor station project. A poor community already with some of the worst health outcomes in Virginia, once again, is caught in a true David and Goliath struggle. In Roanoke, urban renewal did not happen once, but no less than 3 times in 1955, 64, and again in 69. As we discuss current policies, whether this compressor station or coal ash ponds near poor communities, one can feel why promises are tough to swallow, as scars are still so visible. Many of you have visited our lovely community in Roanoke and driven on 581 and seen the Roanoke Civic Center there. Those were the former Commonwealth and Kimball communities, which were completely obliterated in order to make room for that growth and development. Some see economic progress. Others are still feeling the ramifications for many, many years to come. I hear it all the time. Why don't these people just lift themselves up by their bootstraps? We all have the same opportunities to succeed. Mr. Speaker, we come back to the fundamental issue of equity. We are not saying everyone should be given an equal amount at the end, but that we must deliver on the promise that we all begin at the same point. With the recurring collapse of critical social structures, equity is far from the current truth. Equity, Mr. Speaker, much like justice, is not a destination, but rather a journey. As we've experienced recently, a complicated journey. Let us come together to confront our present reality, Mr. Speaker, so to heal the past, and as a delegate from Hampton stated yesterday, make 2019 the year we move on. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.